Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, I wanted to talk about, are you talking about what isn't working? My name is Nilofer Safdar, and I facilitate people uh, to clear their money blocks so that they can break through their income ceilings and create a six-figure income. Now, today we are going to talk about, are you talking about what isn't working? Okay. And although I came up with this topic about a month ago, it's kind of just filtering in how much we live our life from this. Okay. So, what do I mean by this? Um, I've been talking to a few people over the past few days, right? And every time I talk to someone and I ask them, what would you like to create? What would you like to create? What would you like to have? Guess what they start talking about? Anyone, can you guess what they start talking about? And it is never about what they would like to create. It is always stories about what they don't want in their life. So there are like reasons, there are justifications, there are stories of how bad things are in their life and what's not working, and this area of my life is not working, or that area of my life is not working. And it's almost like people love their stories, and people love talking about the misery that they live in. Okay. And I'm going to say this again. People love talking about the misery that they live in, right? Hi. Good to hear you. So, if you want to create some change in your physical body, be aware of what you are talking about all the time. Okay, so what are you talking about all the time about stuff that is going on in your body? Okay, now I've noticed this especially, after you've been sick a little bit. Like, maybe you have the flu, and right now flu is, oh my God. But, just like a simple example, maybe you have the flu, or maybe you have a headache, or maybe you have something. And have you noticed that your family or even your friends who know that you've been sick, they will ask you this question, how are you? Right? And what do you respond to the question? If it is to do with your physical body, we respond with whatever is not so good in our bodies, right? I mean, that question is designed for us to kind of share all the things and all the ways in which our body is not working. So, how are you today? Oh, I have a headache, and I have something going on in my throat, and my ears are hurting, and my blah, 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 blah. Now, guess what? If you are talking about what isn't working, what are you creating? Right? Your thoughts create your reality. Thoughts become things. So if you are talking about having a headache and having a throat thing and whatever, so what you are actually doing is you're making them into things. So you are creating whatever you are saying. So forget the thoughts. Right now, we are talking about just the words that we use, right? The physical words that we use when we are talking, right? So what I want you to do is that be aware of all the words that you are using, okay? And throughout the day, catch yourself with what you are talking about. Like, one of the things that I have found with a lot of times is that if I talk to some of my friends or something, guess what the most current discussion is all about? How is the situation in your country? How is the situation in your country? And guess what it has to do? It has to do with with the COVID, right? And that is like a big part of the conversation with almost everything, almost everyone, except my friends, who are kind of, who've been healers and coaches and all. So these are the people with whom I never have this conversation. But if I talk to family, if I talk to friends who don't know the kind of work that I do, this is the top question which comes up. And after having a conversation around that, and even if you don't really contribute to that conversation in any way, even 5 minutes or 10 minutes into that conversation, how does that make you feel? It just makes you feel really, really yucky. Yeah, absolutely. It is so boring. But honestly, this is the question which everyone starts off the conversation with these days, right? And it can really suck you in, and people get into all kinds of opinions about wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, shaming someone, not shaming some, all of that, all the stuff that goes on around it. And guess what you're doing? Thoughts become things. Your words become things. So whatever you are saying, you are creating all that. Okay, now look at your money reality. What are you talking about your money reality? Now, this is one thing that most people will not talk out aloud, anything to do with money. So you're kind of okay with the money part of it, because most people will refuse to have conversations around money, right? So this is one thing that you are kind of safe to begin with. Okay, think about your job, think about your business. So how is your business going? Like this question, how are you? How is your life? How is your business? It kind of just triggers you to bring out all the stuff that is not working and spew it out, And what I find very insidious is it's really insidious, this question. It's almost like this question almost always blindsides you, right? And it will draw forth things from you which you were like, oh my God, I didn't even want to say these things, right? So be aware of the trap of the how question. How's your life? How's your business? How's your job? All this. And the other way around also, you're having a casual conversation with someone and you ask them, so how are you? And then it becomes an invitation for them to kind of vent out everything and tell you whatever is not working in their life. And that really is very boring, like someone just pointed out here. Okay, so here's the thing. If you talk about things that are not working, that's exactly what you will end up creating. You will end up creating exactly the things that are not working. If you talk about, I keep promoting myself, I don't get clients. Guess what you're creating? You will create promoting yourself and not getting clients. If you keep talking about the pain in your body, guess what you're creating? You're creating pain in your body. If you're talking about the relationships that are not working for you, guess what you are going to create? You're going to actually end up creating relationships that will not work for you. Right? So the first and most important thing here is become aware of what you are talking about. Become aware of what you are talking about. And especially especially become aware of what what kind of conversation that you can slip into, that you can literally slide into with people who who are kind of I would say not very conscious, right? What occurs is that any conversation with them will suck you into that space of talking about things that are not working. Like, not only will they talk about things that are not working, you will also get pulled into talking about things that are not working. So that's one thing that I will kind of ask you to be aware of. Second thing I already spoke about: be aware of all the how questions. How are you, how's your business, how's your job, these kind of questions. These kind of questions also pull out all those things that are not working. And when you keep talking about things that are not working, that's exactly what you are creating. Okay. If you talk about, I get these sugar cravings and I want to just eat sugar, and no matter how much I try, I can't stop eating sugar. That's exactly what you are going to create. Okay. So one level is actually at the level of talk. So at the level of the conversation that you're having, actual physical talking, talking aloud. The other level, which is much more subtle, that you should be aware of, is the level of the thoughts. Okay. What thoughts do you have around things? And you might be saying something, but behind that, what are the thoughts? So for example, the first thought that comes up for you when somebody asks you about your job: how's your job, right? So before you even say something, it's the thoughts which arise in your mind, right? So if someone asks you how's your job or how's your business or whatever that is, and you kind of feel a little bit weird in your body, you go down like that, what it means is that the thoughts that arose actually are some thoughts which are pointing you in constricting ways. Okay. So I always, like yesterday, I was talking to someone, and they had some physical conditions going on in their body. And so in our conversation, I said, this condition that you have, can you tell me what triggers it? And he said, it's triggered by stress, right? So now, it's triggered by stress is a very wide thing, right? So then I asked him, I want you to kind of do a diagnostic with this. Like, we are going to explore this. We are going to go deep inside this. And we are going to find out exactly what are the things that are triggering it, right? So I said to him, when you wake up in the morning, are you stressed? So he says, no, the first thing when I wake up, I'm not really stressed. But then I start thinking about my day, and especially Monday to Friday, I start thinking about going to the office, and then I start feeling, a little bit constricted in my body. So then I asked him, hey, do you like the work that you do? So he was like, well, sometimes. So it's like he had to think about it. So that itself is like a clue to me. If you have to think about it, then it means that you don't really love what you're doing, right? So he doesn't like what he does, but he has to kind of go do it because he has to, get the money from it or whatever it is, right? And so what this kind of points me towards is that there are some points of views that he has about his work, right? And so, when you have points of views around your work, and, these could be some things that you're telling yourself about your work, then what happens is that those things will end up creating that stress. So in that case, you go deeper into this, and you can write down a question, something like, what does my job mean to me? What does Monday to Friday going to work mean to me? And just sit and write down whatever comes up for you. Okay, like I love doing pen and paper exercises. I love telling everyone who works with me to do these pen and paper exercises. In fact, I have a pen in my hand right now. I was also doing a lot of journaling today because I wanted to explore some of the thoughts that were going on in my head, right? So, what does my job mean to me? What does, going to work Monday to Friday mean to me? Or what does Monday to Friday mean to me? And as you start writing it down, some of the things you will already be aware of. Some of the things you will be like, I didn't even know that I had these kind of things somewhere simmering in my awareness. But that's great, you uncovered a few things. So remember, we are on a diagnostic journey, right? Then I said to him, so you do this journaling, then you go to work, and when you come back, after coming back, I want you to sit down and write down everything that went on at work that is bothering you. So whatever is, just think about your day, and whatever is bothering you, just start writing it down. And as you start writing down, and literally it's not like, when you do this journaling, it's not about doing in the right way, doing in the correct way, doing it in the perfect way. It's just like literally you're putting on paper everything which is in your head, right? So you just like literally you dump everything on a piece of paper, write down everything that is there in your head. And when you read it, you will be again surprised. You will be surprised at the things that really triggered you through the day, and you had no idea that those were the kind of things that were triggering you. Like you might, like the way somebody laughed might irritate you, or maybe someone said something and that kind of irritated you, whatever that is. So this is all about, just becoming more and more and more aware of our thoughts, because, our thoughts are creating our reality. So in his case, these thoughts were creating that physical condition in your body. So a lot of times just writing down what your thoughts are. And this kind of journaling exercise is an excellent way for you to connect with your thoughts, because, you can be really superficial with it, and you can just say, oh, I have stress. But if you really want to know what are the factors that are triggering that, so-called stress for you, then, you will go in and do this pen and paper exercise. So doing this gives you some valuable information, some valuable data about what are the things that are actually, creating that physical condition in your body. Now, here's the thing. Once you find out what thoughts you have, and if you keep having the thoughts over and over again, they become beliefs. So when you do the pen and paper work, you're not only uncovering your thoughts, you're also uncovering your beliefs. Okay, so now when you've uncovered your thoughts which are creating the emotional charge for you, when you uncover the beliefs that are creating an emotional charge for you, it's really easy. Now you can use whatever tool that you have with you. Like it could be EFT, it could be the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, it could be, the energetic releases that I do. Just use whatever the tool that you have, and you work with those thoughts. So the thing with the thoughts is that you are not releasing the thoughts, you're releasing the emotional charge that is attached to it. So say, for example, if there is a person whose laughter irritates you, okay, so there is something in the laughter which is triggering you. So if you kind of work on that and you use your tools and you release that, what will happen is that then the laughter may still be there, but it won't bother you anymore. Right? So this is about, no matter what is going on around you, you are in that state of balance. Okay? So start releasing on all the stuff, all the charge. Some things have an emotional charge on it, some things have an energetic charge on it. So as you start releasing the emotional charge, the energetic charge around things, what will start to occur is that your experience of things start to change. So for example, for this client, what will start to occur is that then he will not wake up in the morning and think about his day and get stressed because he has to go to work, because now he has no emotional charge or energetic charge around the office. Like there is no positive, negative, there is no right, wrong, there is no good, bad. He's totally neutral. He has no point of view about it. And he can just go to work and he can be 100% present and he can do whatever he does and come back home, right? So it's really, really, really important to be aware of what are your thoughts, what are your beliefs. Now, we are talking about things in terms of the physical body. So, someone having some kind of physical, imbalance in their body, and, you become aware of the thoughts and you start changing it. Now, when it comes to creating money, when it comes to creating business, again, this kind of diagnostic is really, really, really important. Okay. So say, let's talk about expanding your business. Expanding your business is about, having more sales, getting more clients. And it is also about having more money coming in, right? That's expanding your business. Now, if you find that, one or some of those elements are not working, what it means is that you have some thoughts, you have some beliefs that are kind of staying in place, which are preventing your business from expanding. Okay, so say you want to create a certain, revenue in your business in the next 30 days, or it could be in the next 90 days, or whatever the number of days that you want. Okay, so you write down, okay, so I would like to have this X amount of revenue in the next 90 days. And then the first question I would say is, I can't have this because. And just write down whatever comes up for you. Okay. So again, we are almost at the end of the year. We are in the last 90 days of the year. So think about, if you are in business, think about your business. If you have a job, think about your job. And what is your revenue target for the next, 3 months, October, November, and December, and just write it down. Get a pen and paper, write it down, and then go I can't have this because, and write down whatever comes up for you. Okay. So the first thing that might come up with, I'm in a job and my income is fixed. I don't know how I'm going to get this. So that's the first thought. Then the second thought is, I don't think it's even possible for me to get this. I'm just going to get this much money, and having this, it's kind of like a castle in the air. This is not going to occur. Then the next thing is that maybe it's possible, but I don't really know how. So most of the time when you write down these things about I can't have this because, you will notice that you are writing some version or the other of the how. I don't know how this is going to occur, right? You will write down some version of the how. Now, what I will invite you over here is be very honest with yourself. Okay. So don't remain on the surface. Go really deep, because only when you dig deep and you find out your deep down thoughts, beliefs, right? Only then you will be able to shift or change things for you. Only then you will be able to physically actualize the things that you are asking for. Okay, does that make sense? Let me know if kind of what I'm saying is making sense to you guys. Okay. So the first question is, I can't have this because. The second question is, and this one is kind of, you'll wonder at it, but then I invite you to do this, is I don't want to have this because. I don't want to have this because, right? And you're like, wait a minute, but I do want it. That's why I'm asking for it. But you know what? Just do this. Just do these questions. Okay. It's just, look, it's just a diagnostic. Okay. You're diagnosing, you're trying to get to the root of it, right? I don't want to have this because, whatever it is that you're asking for. Okay. I don't want to have this because. Okay. And then just start writing down whatever comes up for you. Okay. And take some time in doing this. The next thing that you will write down is, what will happen if I have this? What will happen if I have this? So when you ask this question, what will happen if I have this? Initially, you will be really on the surface with it. You will be like, oh, so if you're asking to have an income of like, say, $10,000 per month, you'll be like, oh, then, I will have as much money as I want for whatever. I'll be able to go and attend whatever classes I want to attend and blah, blah, blah. You'll write down all those things. So write down those things, okay? And very soon, all those goody stuff will finish. And then you will start to actually get to the crux of the matter, what I call it, right? You will start to get to the crux of the matter. You will start to write, when I have this money, I will have more work to do. I'll be working more hours. I won't have that much free time to myself. I won't be able to spend that time with my kids. My kids will feel neglected. My husband, he will be jealous of me because I'll be making more money than him. And then, there will be a distance in our relationship with each other. See, now you're really starting to get to the thing. Oh, I will become so arrogant that, I will not want to stay on with my husband. I will want to leave and go away. And there you are getting even deeper and deeper into the thing, and it's like, see, there is no right thing or wrong thing with this. It's just you going deeper and deeper and deeper and finding those things that are actually stopping you. Look, I call these, my stoppers, or the saboteurs. And the saboteurs are mostly coming from within you, because nobody can stop you except you, right? Only you have the capacity to stop you. Nobody else can really stop you. So really dig deep down with this. Now, here's the thing. What will also start to occur as you start writing this down, you will start feeling overwhelmed. You will start wanting to run away from this. You will just not want to do it anymore. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Because here's the thing, your mind wants to maintain status quo. It doesn't want you to change. It wants you to remain in the comfort zone. So the mind will bring out all these distractions for you. And that's okay. You can choose to get distracted in that minute, in that moment. And I call it wallowing in that stuff. And it's okay to wallow in that stuff. But, come back to it. Come back to it. So once you've written down everything, then start to release everything. Use whatever tools you have, whether it is EFT, whether it is energy work, whether it is energetic releases, or it is the clearing statement, or whatever it is. Start to release on all that, okay? And keep releasing it till there is no more emotional charge or energetic charge on any of the stuff. Okay. And what I will invite you to do is revisit this exercise every few days. Maybe, do it once, maybe do it once a week, and just do these 3-4 questions again. And as you start doing these questions, you might, have an awareness of some other questions that you could use. In fact, you guys, I'm sure you have some other questions also that you might be using to get to this, right? So if you have any such questions, please share it in the comments. It'll be great. Everyone will have this, right? So start doing this exercise once a week. So those things that you've been asking for, which are not showing up, this will help you get to the bottom of it. This will help you get to the crux of the matter, whatever it is, which is actually like stopping you. Okay. So that was the thing with money, with business. You can do another great area where all this comes up or surfaces is changing your body. And by changing your body, I mean the physical size and the shape of your body, what, quote unquote, we call as losing weight, right? So that also has a lot of points of views attached to it, right? A lot of points of views attached to it. So literally, like you can, so say for example, if you get sugar cravings, then the question that you can write down is that I get sugar cravings because, and write down whatever comes up. Or I eat even when I'm hungry because, and then write down whatever comes up. You are getting to the crux of the matter. And if you don't have anything that is coming up, make up some reasons, like 4 or 5 things, just make up and write it. And I bet you most of the time, it's very accurate what you have written down. Like, when you look at it, you will go, oh yeah, that one. Because, if I ask someone else to make up things, that person will make up some totally different set of things. Right. The other thing, so these kind of just keep the questions are the best way in which you can explore this. The questions are the best way in which you can get to the thoughts which are creating your reality. Because it's not really the conscious thoughts that you have. It's actually the subconscious thoughts that you have. Like literally here, you could use that question, which I talked about right in the beginning, how are you? Like, think of someone asking you, how, say you want to lose weight, right? So think of someone asking you, how's your weight loss going, right? And think somebody has asked you that, and now just write down whatever is coming up for you, right? Think of somebody asking you, how's your business going? And then just write down whatever is coming up for you. Can it apply to lumps and bumps in the body? Absolutely. It can totally apply to lumps and bumps in your body. You can ask these questions. I I can't have a body without lumps and bumps because, and if I don't have lumps and bumps in my body, what will happen? And in most cases, you won't even be able to visualize or you won't even be able to think of yourself not having lumps and bumps, because it's that strong. Like, especially if you've had some kind of physical conditions and it's been there in your body for a really long time, then this is something which occurs, which is like, you cannot imagine a state where you actually don't have it. And the vice versa is also true. Like, if you are asking for something and you've never had it, you cannot imagine a state where you could have it. So, like, for example, say $100 million, what would it be like to have $100 million? What would it be like to have $100 million? It's almost like, it's so far out that you cannot even, you have no concept of what that would be. You understand? Is sabotaging money related to the throat chakra? Sabotaging money is related to all the chakras. Like, every chakra has its own pattern of sabotage, which is related to money. I'm so bored of having these. That's a good one. I can't stand people who say not to have enough money to live, and then you take consciousness, and then they have a high style of life, much more elevated than their real financial entries. Okay. So, can you see that you have a lot of points of views around that, right? When you say things, and these are very strong points of views, like, I can't stand, I hate. These are really strong points of view. So, I say this not with a sense of judgment, just kind of like pointing out something, right? When we have such strong points of views about things, then most of the time what occurs is that it's kind of, clumped up in our body like an energy which is tied up, and this energy will stop you from receiving. Okay, this energy will stop you from receiving money. I just found out that my thyroid is out of balance, wondering if it's related to my finances. So, you could kind of explore that also. Like, that is also a point of view that you could have, that, my thyroid is out of balance, and and so my finances are out of balance. That's also a point of view. So, a thought that you have. So again, you can just release on that. Makes sense? So, like, you don't really know what is connected to what. And sometimes you will get these kind of thoughts as an awareness, and sometimes there is no truth in those. Those just become limiting beliefs which will stop you. Understand? So if I have the point of view that, an imbalance in my thyroid is causing an imbalance in my money flows, then guess what? Every time I do a thyroid test and it shows an imbalance, I'm like, oh, fuck, my money flows are screwed here. if that makes sense. So even if that is true, I would still ask you to release on that point of view. And many times, you can reframe that. You can write it as, you can write down I don't want on one side, and then on the other side you can write down I do want. So for example, here you could write down, when my thyroid is out of balance, my money flows are out of balance. And here you can write down, when my thyroid is out of balance, you can reframe it on this side and you can write down, when my thyroid is out of balance, that's when I have, humongous money flows. Okay. When my thyroid is in balance, I have humongous money flows, and my money flows are not affected by the state of my thyroid. There are many different ways in which you can reframe that. So like, reframe every point of view you have. But in order for you to reframe, you won't be even able to reframe it until you have released the energetic charge around things. Okay. So this is how you kind of work on these things. This is how you start shifting and changing the points of views that you have. The first step is, of course, like identifying that point of view, and then after that, you use whatever tool you have to release it. Okay. So unless you have any questions, I'm going to end up here. Next week, at the same time, I'm going to go live and I will have some amazing topic. Again, sorry, don't have the topic with me right now. So I hope you guys will join me. And I also wanted to invite you to join me in the Money Club for $9. And this is just a Money Club for $9 a month. And especially if you have some funk going on with your money and you want to create possibilities with your money, please do join me, because I'll be doing like 7 days of money releases every month, and there will be a live facilitation call every month as well. So I hope you guys will join me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I will see you next week. And of course, I also want to talk about something really interesting that I'm doing these days, and it's called 100 Days of Failure Redefined. Okay, 100 Days of Failure Redefined. And these are going to be just, some, like every single day I'll be going live on YouTube, of course, and on Facebook as well. And I'll be talking about, it's about taking one action every single day. Okay. If you want to know more about it, just type in failure in the comments, or just type in fail in the comments, and I'll share with you the link where you can go and listen to my other Facebook lives. Today was day 2. It was really amazing. I mean, really, you guys should listen to day 2. And anyway, let me know in the comments if you would like to know more about it. I'm happy to share that information with you. And I will see you next week. Bye.